There were some great bargains on the shelf, providing you ran a junk museum. An old executive toy and a cheap plaster statuette. There didn't seem much helpful around here. The rifle looked dangerous, to the user. The stand was being watched by a young boy, maybe 12 years old. Hey there, young fella. Speak you the English? Speak you the Anglais? Parlez-vous anglais?
Yes, si, and indeed oui, and rather better than you by the sound of it. My name is Nico. Welcome to my grand emporium of quality merchandise.
So, this is your stand?
Oh, yes, sir. Though stand does not begin to do it justice. The finest in this bustling metropolis.
This is a bustling metropolis?
Well, not per se, no.
How much are those books there on the shelf?
Have you any Syrian pounds?
I think I might have a couple of Irish pund.
Then they're too expensive for you, sir.
You speak very good English.
Thank you, sir. I learned from tapes that my uncle procured.
Oh, a language course.
No, sir. Jeeves and Wooster. Gussie, Fink, Noto, Aunt Agatha. What ho?
Does the word Templar mean anything to you?
Templar. Ah, Templar. Templar! Why, yes, of course.
It does?
Yes, a splendid series of books by Mr. Leslie Chatteris, featuring the roguish Mr. Simon Templar.
Great. That's a real help, Nijo. Anything else?
The Saint television program, featuring Mr. Roger Moore of the quizzical eyebrow, and a stick man with a halo. Bing!
So all Templar means to you is Roger Moore.
I only watched it for the stick man with the halo. Bing! He was better animated.
So I'm correct in saying that the word Templar doesn't mean much to you.
Well, there was the Order of Knights who were wiped out in an Inquisition in 1312, I suppose.
That's them. What else do you know?
Just how much information do you think there is on a Trivial Pursuit card?
A what?
From the medieval edition. We had it on the stand a couple of years ago. Ask me what a feuter is. Go on, I know all this stuff.
Never mind. Okay, forget about the Templars for a minute. What do you know about Knights?
Like the Crusaders, they came to the East on an insane and pointless mission. They sacrificed thousands of lives, including their own, for insensate pride. How anyone can find them romantic confounds me.
What do you think of this, eh?
Oh, sir, what a splendid plaything. One day, when I am rich, I am going to build a world-renowned collection of brightly colored balls.
Are you serious?
In deadly earnest. People will come from far and wide to see my
Yes?
collection. The Rockefellers and the Gettys can keep their hordes of so-called fine art. But answer me this. What good is a Picasso, I ask you, if you cannot bounce it off a wall?
You may have a point.
Oh, a comedian. No surprise there.
Have you seen this man before?
No, sir, I'm glad to say. Cold eyes.
Do you know the name Merren?
I'm afraid not, old bean.
Look at this. A lifting key as used by Parisian sewer workers.
Calais, sir. I must remember this day for posterity. My grandchildren will be fascinated.
What do you make of this?
Well, beyond the obvious, very little. That pattern seems very familiar, though.
This plaster was very useful in Ireland.
Really? Your fund of travelers' tales never ceases to enthrall me. I didn't have you down as a doctor.
I'm not. I acquired it.
I didn't have you down as a petty thief either.
I'm not. Here, shake hands, Nijo.
I'd rather not, sir. At least not while you've got that shake and shock buzzer clumsily concealed in your palm.
Oh, you noticed.
Outlawed in 3 separate arms limitation conventions, those are.
What do you make of this?
A man-sized double-ply tissue stained with Bestheimer's number 12 white pancake grease paint, apparently.
So long, Nijo.
Toodle pip, sir.
The cat was an ugly brute who looked like he owned the joint. It was the sort of bell you see in hotel receptions. Kind of unexpected here. Embarrassed as I am to admit it, you can spot an American tourist a mile off. Hi, I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, sure, son. Always got time for a fellow American. The name's Henderson. Dwayne Henderson.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Henderson.
Hell, boy, I'm not in the office. Call me Dwayne.
Oh, okay. Dwayne? My name's George Stobbart. You're a long way from home, Dwayne.
Could say the same about you, George.
Me? Well, I'm just sightseeing, that's all.
Without a camera, kinda lax to come all this way and not take pictures. Mind if I take a picture of you, George?
What? Why? Ow! You could have warned me.
You don't mind, do you, George? The folks back home will be real interested.
What exactly do you do, Dwayne?
Didn't I say? Oh, I run a greeting card company. Yep, we're based in Cleveland, Ohio. Pearl writes the poems for 'em. You ought to ask her to recite some.
Where is your wife, Dwayne?
Pearl? Oh, she's around, looking for bargains.
How long have you been married, Dwayne?
Hell, must be 30 years now.
Do you think bulls have any significance around here?
Weird question, George. Nope, I don't think they have.
I saw a medieval picture of a woman, royalty or nobility, something like that. She was looking in a mirror, but the reflection was of a man with 3 faces. What do you think of that?
I think you should be in therapy.
Do you mind if I ask you an odd question?
Okay, but I might not answer it.
Do you know anything about the Templars?
The Knights Templar?
Yep.
Nope. Nothing at all.
Well, you knew they were an order of knights.
What I know and what I say are 2 different things, boy. I haven't lasted as long as I have in this business without knowing that.
In this business?
Sure. The greetings card business.
Oh, please. Does the image of a knight holding a crystal ball mean anything to you?
Hell no. What would a knight want with a hunk of glass?
I don't know. That's the prob.
What's wrong, boy?
It's not a crystal ball. It all came together in my head. What the conspirators had mentioned losing. The strange perspective of the manuscript. It's a lens. Have you talked to Nijo?
Nijo? He's the youngster on that junk stand, right? Yeah, we've met him. He's a smart kid. Speaks 4 languages, and he's never had a day's formal education. He should go far. Kept trying to peddle garbage on us, though.
You're not going to find much worthwhile around here.
I know that, and you know that. But try telling Pearl. She reckons there's antiquities in them there stands.
What do you think of this?
It's a ball. Big deal.
Recognize this?
A clown's red nose.
Have you seen this man before?
Maybe. Where'd you get it?
I just picked it up somewhere.
Sure. I'm always picking up photos of complete strangers and then asking around.
Ow! Damn it!
There. I've got another picture of a complete stranger. Maybe I'll ask around about this one.
Do you know the name Merren?
Nope.
Do you recognize this man or not?
Not.
What do you make of this?
A manhole lifting key. So?
Hey, how come you recognize it?
Hey, how come you're carrying it?
Yeah, well, let's just drop the subject, shall we? Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Look, I've got some plaster of Paris.
Yeah, and I've got a picture of me shaking hands with George Bush. Of course, that was back in '76.
What do you think of this?
A blood pressure gauge? Why in blue blazes are you carrying that?
I'm carrying it for a friend. Shake hands, Dwayne.
Why?
I'm just being friendly.
Let's just be friendly by keeping our hands to ourselves. Yeah?
What do you think of this grease paint stained tissue?
You've been hanging around with actors?
Okay, well, I'll see you around, Dwayne.
Count on it, George.
It was a guess, but I figured the woman to be an American tourist. Just call me Sherlock. Hello. I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, hi there, handsome. What can I do for you?
Hi, my name's George. I was just...
Well, it certainly is delightful to meet you, George. My name's Mrs. Henderson, but you can call me Pearl, I'm sure.
Okay, Pearl.
So nice to meet a friendly American face so far from home.
Pearl?
Yes, dear?
I was just wondering if you could help me.
Why, sure, precious.
I've been talking to your husband, Dwayne.
Oh,
Yeah, he tells me that he runs a greeting card company and you write the poems that go in them.
oh, yes, indeed. I consider myself the artiste of the family. Tell me, George, would you like to hear one of my poems?
Yes, go on then.
Okay then, darling, here we go. Our sympathy upon this time, when your heart doth break.
I like the doth.
Classy, isn't it? We know the grief that must entail when your schnauzer gets bitten by a snake. Ah, it still touches me. What do you think, George?
It's very specific, isn't it?
You think so? We sell a lot of those, dear.
So, tell me a little about yourself, Pearl.
Me? Oh, a gentleman's interest is always so flattering. Well, my husband and I run a greetings card company in a cute little place called Akron in Ohio.
Akron? Cute? Little? Hold on. Didn't Dwayne say they were from Cleveland?
What was that, sweetness?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking out loud. I met your husband earlier. He's an interesting man.
That's why I married him.
You said that your company is based in Akron.
And Dwayne said it's in Cleveland, no doubt.
Well, yes, he did.
Dwayne was in the Marines in Vietnam, you know. Anyway, he got a medical discharge. Thing is, he gets confused. We moved away from Cleveland 5 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean...
He also gets a little paranoid. Thinks he's a spy or something.
I'm so sorry, Pearl.
Don't worry yourself, George. We live with it.
Have you ever heard of a group of knights called the Templars?
Sounds familiar. I remember. Dwayne had a book. The Holy Something and the Holy Something Else, I can't quite recall. I read a little of it.
And?
Seemed like a lot of hooey to me. Still, Dwayne loved it. Conspiracy theories appeal to his paranoia. He thinks the Freemasons shot Elvis from a grassy knoll. He gets mighty confused sometimes.
Have you talked to the boy on the bric-a-brac stand?
Oh, you've met him? His name's Nejo, you know. Oh, he's just so cute, I could die. I'd love to bundle him up and take him back to Ohio.
He might not thank you.
I'm looking for something ancient, you know. Something to impress the folks back home. The poor boy was trying to do his best, but we still haven't found anything.
Do you know anything about medieval weaving?
I do a little needlework, but gosh.
It's okay. It was a long shot. What does this mean to you?
Gosh, is this some sort of psychological test?
No.
Oh, well in that case it's a red ball.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Reminds me of my late Uncle Abner.
Oh? Is he a clown?
No, he was a drunk.
Have you seen this man before?
No. A friend of yours?
No, not really. Have you ever heard of anybody calling himself Merlin?
Merlin?
No, Merlin. Merlin. There's an O in there.
Moulin?
You haven't, have you?
No, darling. No Moulins.
Do you know what this is?
Lord, no. It looks painful, though.
It's a sewer key.
Who'd want to break into a sewer?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
You're a philommonist?
Don't they have secret handshakes?
Oh, George, now you're teasing.
I've got some plaster of Paris.
That's nice, dear.
What do you think of this?
Oh, looks scientific. It's a blood pressure thing, isn't it?
I liked her too much to zap her with the buzzer. What do you make of this grease paint stained tissue?
Oh, it's grease paint. I thought somebody had gaudy taste in makeup.
I've got to go now, Pearl.
It's been a pleasure, George. Don't be a stranger.
How did this guy make a living selling useless old machine parts in the middle of nowhere? He didn't have anything that I needed. MARIB looked pretty defendable with a high wall all around it. I figured going out into the countryside was a pretty good way to get lost. The guy running the stand seemed pretty happy. People always want fruit. I wasn't hungry and didn't want to buy fruit, so I didn't start a conversation. The stallholder's face wasn't a great ad for running a kebab stand. Hi, what's your name, sir?
Hello, you buy kebab. Most good.
What do you make of this?
Buy kebab. Most good.
What do you think of this?
Buy kebab. Come to eat.
Well, goodbye. Have a nice day.
Most good.
The carpet in the middle looked familiar somehow. The carpet seller looked craftier than the offspring of a fox and an insurance agent. Hi.
Hello, sir. Lovely carpet.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Ah! Give to me! Give to me! Allah mut!
The stall had the fanciest awnings I'd ever seen.
Many beneficent greetings, my most fortunate possible friend.
Huh? Do I know you, mister?
No. And again I say, no. But, my friend, do you not see our mutual good fortune in this meeting?
How frank do you want me to be?
You are a traveler, yes?
Boy, you must be the world's greatest detective.
No. I am told that is Sherlock Holmes of the big forehead and slipper full of shag. I, as contrast, am world's greatest luxury taxi driver.
I can see where this is going.
I am Ulta, taxi driver and luxury guide per excellence. Yes.
This I had to hear.
Where does your heart desire to go? Simply mention the name to your obedient servant and we shall fly there, swift as the eagle.
Oh, well, I don't really want to leave MARIB yet, but I'm sure that if I do, you'll be the first to know.
Is good. You know where you want to go, you come to Ulta.
Thanks. See you around, Ultar.
Be having a pleasant day, full of shining experiences and happiness, my friend.
I don't know why, but I felt like I could trust this guy. Hello again, Ultar.
Great hellos, munificent foreigner, and possible future client.
Well, you never know. Would you mind talking to me?
It's most agreeable. This is how Ultar learned such splendid English, yes? Yes.
This place is certainly hard to find.
Oh, yes, it is most exclusive. The membership can be no more than... Kind sir, what would you guess the population of the village to be?
Gee, I don't know, a couple of thousand?
Then I would estimate the membership to be no more than a couple of thousand.
What do you make of that boy in the market, Nejo?
Nejo? Ha, Ayub boy. He's too big for sandals. I speak splendid English and he laughs. He say, Ultar, you big ox, you split infinitive. I say, I split your head if you stay still long enough. Ha 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 ha. Ho 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 ho. Pretty funny, yes?
Hilarious. You should be on cable. Do you know anything about the Templars?
Of course.
Yes? What can you tell me?
Great sheep-up band of the 60s.
No, that's not really...
Who put the bop in the bop, 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 bop?
Yeah, eternal questions. What do you know about the kebab seller?
A most miserable man. Ultar say, cheery up, matey mate, it might never happen. And he say, shut up, Ultar.
Fancy that.
Not at all. Arto has face like the drizzle that falls on the midweek afternoon. Whatever that is.
Have you met the American couple?
Have Ultar met them? Have Ultar met them? Yes, Ultar have met them.
And?
They most ungenerous. Ultar offer to show them wonders of countryside. They say, is there anything ancient? Ultar say, yes, of course. Nature is ancient. They say, no, anything ancient made by men. And Ultar say, have you seen Taxi? Fan belt older than Ozymandias. Ha 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 ha! But they gone.
What do you think of this ball?
He's most splendid, mister.
Look at this.
Is a red ball with a hole in it.
No, it's a clown's nose.
Does Clown know you have his nose?
I really hope not. Have you seen this man before?
Oh, most certainly. Was here only yesterday.
Here? Yesterday? My God, he's close.
Yes, he was asking a lot of questions, just like you.
What did he ask about?
He asked about American called Stobby.
Stobbart?
Yes, Stobbart. You know him.
The killer knew my name. What else did he ask about?
He asked about German man called Kloppenherr.
I tried to remember the name of the man the conspiracy had lost in Syria. Was his name Klausner?
Sure, that is what Ultar said. Klausner. I told this man in the picture, Klausner wanted to go up to Bull's Head.
Hold on, he wanted to go where?
Bull's Head. Big hill, 10 miles out of town. Maybe 60.
When was that?
Oh, maybe a week ago.
What can you tell me about this Bull's Head Hill?
It's most magnificent. Lovely views. Worth visiting. Yes, by indeed it is.
How do I get there? No. Let me guess.
You need fine luxury guide to take you there in air-conditioned taxi.
Woe is me. Where can I find such a guide?
And Ultar is most luxurious guide for most literally some way, in any direction.
Gee willikers, lucky old me.
Are you desirous of my pleasant and luxuriant service?
All right, let's go.
First, I regret the formalities. A trip to the Bull's Head. 50 Yankee dollars, please.
50 bucks? I don't have 50 bucks.
Oh, most unhappy event. Ultar then sorry, but he cannot take you on ride of lifetime.
Hold on, Ultar. Is there nothing I could barter with you?
Word that it was so, beloved friend. But my taxi needs gas, and its muffler needs the muffler doctor. Trading for these things is not possible. My heart weeps for the injustice, but it bucks or zip for unfortunate Americans.
About Bull's Head Hill.
Are you desirous of seeing this most splendid place?
Well, maybe.
A terrific bargain. Only 50 of your Yankee bucks.
50, huh? Well, I still don't have any cash on me, American or otherwise.
Oh, unfortunate, most extreme. The delights of the Bull's Head Hill then must wait, I fear.
Have a look at this.
Shiny.
This is a key for lifting manhole covers.
You carry some strange stuff with you, mister.
What do you think of this plaster?
Not much there. Not enough to make tasteful garden gnome, for example.
What do you think of this?
Is gadget.
It's a blood pressure gauge.
Blood pressure gauge. Is what Ultar said.
Shake my hand, Ultar.
Ha ha. Remind me of thing that happened month ago. Maybe 6. Man come up to Ultar, say, shake hands, Ultar. But man have electric buzz thing in his hand. Ha ha. How we laugh. Then I broke his arm.
What does this grease paint stained tissue mean to you?
Nothing. Why? What does grease paint stained tissue mean to you?
See you around, Ultar.
Fare you most splendid, good sir.
The club manager's bonhomie seemed forced. Looking at the place, I could understand that. This is definitely not what they meant when they said the joint was jumping. Hi. Nice club you've got here. I was wondering if you could help me. What? I mean, I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, but I don't understand.
No surprise there, alrighty. He says sorry, but he not speak English.
But he didn't say anything.
He not have tongue.
No tongue? What happened?
It was bet.
And he lost.
He won. You should see other chappie. Oh, yes.
Damn, the door's locked. I'm sorry? Did you say something?
He say you not to go in toilet. Read sign, maybe.
Matey?
It lose something in translation.
My Arabic, Russian, and Japanese have a lot in common. I can't read a word of any of them. The notice didn't mean anything to me. Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah. I am blessed with your bountiful presence once more.
Could you tell me what that sign means?
It's a door stay shut until brush come back. Signed, the management.
Oh, what does that mean?
Manager buy lovely new toilet brush, leaves it by wash basin for 10 minutes, come back, it been stolen. Not even out of wrapper. He damn cross. Lock up toilet and say, nobody use fine pristine toilet until brush given back. We say, what we do till then, eh? He say, cross legs and use superior willpower.
And that's what you've been doing?
No, Ultar use bucket.
Bye for now, Ultar.
May good fortune follow you, mister.
Suddenly, I realized the horrific truth. The guy was basting the kebabs with a toilet brush. It may never have seen the inside of a toilet bowl, but it was still hardly appetizing. Hi, Nijo.
Hello again, sir. And how may I help you this time?
That's not a very friendly cat you got there, Nijo.
No, sir. It is a very unfriendly cat.
Why do you keep it?
Oh, it's not mine. It just rests where it pleases. And today it pleases to rest there. As Kipling would say, it is a cat that walks by itself.
Fiercely independent.
And it smells.
Is that your father lurking in the back of the stand?
He is indeed. A roaring fellow. Ayub's his name.
You don't sound like you respect him very much.
Don't I? Not only do I respect him, I rather like him. For all his bluster, we get on very well.
Who's the guy selling the kebabs?
Oh, that's Arto. A miserable blighter to be sure, sir.
He doesn't seem very happy.
He never is. Day in, day out, a face like a wet Wednesday. Whatever one of those is.
Does he speak any English?
Not cogently, no.
Look, this is going to sound a bit strange, but I need Arto's brush.
What? The brush he bastes the kebabs with?
Yes.
Let me find some dirty postcards for you instead.
Nijo, this is serious. Arto stole that brush he's using from a friend, and I want to get it back.
Perhaps I could help you, old chap. Maybe? Perhaps?
Maybe what? Perhaps what?
I do not wish to seem mercenary, sir, but I am a merchant, and merchants trade.
Merchant? This isn't Sears and Roebuck here.
Well, if you're going to be disagreeable...
No, you're right. What would you like?
I seem to recall that you have something that might alleviate my boredom. A globe of delight, a Rubicon spheroid of heavenly pleasure.
You mean the ball, don't you?
A tiny spherular form that barely spans my hand, yet promises hours of amusement.
If you mean the ball, why don't you just say so?
Can I have the ball back, mister?
All right, here you go.
People say bad things about Americans, but you're okay in my book.
What people? What bad things?
Never mind that now. Remember the brush?
Right, yes, the brush.
All you have to do with Arto is be polite. It lightens his day, makes it all worthwhile for him again.
How can I be polite to the guy when I can't speak a word of Syrian?
Arabic.
That's what I meant.
Simply memorize this phrase. Il-ach il-kalb.
Il-ach il-kalb.
Close enough. Now, go over to Arto and deliver those honeyed words even unto his delicate ear. He won't be able to do enough for you.
Really?
Really.
What exactly does il-akul kalb mean?
A polite but subtly complimentary greeting. He won't be able to do enough for you.
What do you know about that couple?
Oh, they're American.
Is that all?
The chap's a little odd. As for the lady, it's a funny thing, but I get the impression she's a lot cleverer than she's letting on.
I met an interesting guy earlier, a cab driver.
Ah, that would have to be Utar, a barbaric sort of chap.
Oh, he's not that bad.
You know how he speaks in pidgin English? That's how he speaks in Arabic too.
See you around, Nijo.
Ta-ta for now, sir.
Hello again, sir.
Hello. Kebab? Yes?
Il-akul kalb?
Filthy. Bad. I'll kill you.
Whoa, calm down. Feet, do your thing. Hi, Nijo. What the heck did you tell me to tell him?
Patience, sir.
Patience? Patience? I've been chased by a homicidal kebab seller, and you expect me to be patient?
But consider, sir, while you were running from the irate Arto wasn't using the brush.
Hold on. Are you telling me that I've been used as a diversionary tactic?
Your brush, sir.
I can't believe that you put me on that kebab seller's death list for a toilet brush.
The ends justify the means, sir.
Yeah, but I noticed it wasn't your butt that was on the line, though.
They also serve who only stand and wait, sir.
Oh, spare me. Oh, it's okay. Nothing. Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah. I am blessed with your bountiful presence once more.
Look, I've got the toilet brush back.
You man of action, all righty. Don't just wave at me. Give to manager.
Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah. I am blessed with your bountiful presence once more.
What does Il Ako Kalb mean?
Who teach you that?
Nejo told me to say it to Arto.
And Arto come after you with big knife, yes?
Yeah, how did you know?
I know Arto. You tell him in bad Arabic that his kebab's made from dog meat.
I said he was using dog food? No wonder he went crazy.
No. Ultar not mean meat for dog. Ultar mean meat of dog.
Oh. Ew. See you around, Ultar.
Fare you most splendid, good sir.
Hello again, friend. There wasn't much point in trying to launch an in-depth conversation when I couldn't speak Arabic and he couldn't speak. Period. Well, I did know a few words of Arabic, but doubted the wisdom of using it. Here's your brush, sir. It wasn't easy getting it back. The manager took the brush from me, gave me the toilet keys as my reward, and stomped off. What was all that about?
Manager, he say, look at state of this. Need much cleaning and detergent before go around my, you bend.
Said all that?
Body language account for much, you know? Oh, yes, indeed.
It was a roller towel dispenser. The mirror was as clean as anything else in there. Hello? Anybody in there? No answer, so I gave it a push. And I thought the French had strange toilets. The design of the toilet was a little different from what I was used to, but a toilet chain is a toilet chain all over the world. Oops. The fall hadn't done the statuette much good. It had lost its arms and gotten pretty chipped. The statuette looked pretty sorry for itself after its fall, chipped with both arms broken off. The plaster seemed to soak up the grease paint until it began to look like stone. Hello again, Pearl.
Why, hello, George. It's such a pleasure to see you again.
What do you think of this fine piece of ancient statuary?
Oh, Matt, that's just what I've been looking for.
Would you like it?
Would I ever? I'm not carrying the money, though. If you go and find Dwayne, he'll pay you for it. If he gives you any trouble, just tell him that I want it.
Have you had anything from the kebab stand?
Hey, Evans, no, with my digestion.
Have you met the taxi man, Ultar?
Havens, yes. What a big man. Very muscular.
But you didn't go for a ride.
Why, George, you're absolutely the most... Oh, you mean a taxi ride? No, Dwayne wasn't interested, so it didn't happen.
Have you ever heard of a hill called the Bull's Head?
No, I haven't. Is it nearby?
I'm not sure.
Sounds awful romantic. The Bull's Head Hill.
I've got to go now, Pearl.
It's been a pleasure, George. Don't be a stranger.
Hello again, Pearl.
Why, hello, George. It's such a pleasure to see you again.
What do you think of this fine piece of ancient statuary?
Oh, Matt, that's just what I've been looking for.
Would you like it?
Would I ever? I'm not carrying the money, though. If you go and find Dwayne, he'll pay you for it. If he gives you any trouble, just tell him that I want it.
Hi there, Dwayne.
Hi there, George. How can I help you, young fella?
Have you had any dealings with the kebab seller?
Absolutely not. Pearl's already had one attack of Montezuma's revenge.
Have you met Ultar?
Almost luxurious air-conditioned taxi ride, mister.
Yeah, the cabbie.
Tried to pull a bunco on us. Take us on a wild goose chase off into nowhere.
Have you ever heard of a hill called the Bull's Head?
Can't say as I have. Where's that?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out.
Bull's Head, huh? I must remember that. Sounds scenic.
What do you think of this?
Good gravy. Looks old.
Yeah, I had to turn this town upside down.
Boy, your luck's better than ours. Looks Roman.
I wouldn't know.
What'll they say back home? How much do you want, George?
Oh, I couldn't. It's the find of a lifetime. I mean...
$50. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. Here you go.
And here you go.
Okay, well, I'll see you around, Dwayne.
Count on it, George.
Hello again, Ultar.
Praise be to Allah. I am blessed with your bountiful presence once more.
About Bull's Head Hill.
Are you desirous of seeing this most splendid place?
Well, maybe.
A terrific bargain. Only 50 of your Yankee bucks.
50, huh? Okay, it's a deal. Here's the cash.
Ah, most splendid. As you say, the cash price moolah is correct. Mister, we make with haste.
Where exactly is your taxi? Because the only vehicle I can see around here is an aging Army surplus truck.
Yes?
Ah, okay. I'll be along in a minute. It didn't seem right to take off with the toilet keys, so I left them on the bar. Hello again, Ultar.
His most splendid and adventurous client.
That's your taxi?
Oh, yes, most assuredly. Most entirely splendid taxi in all MARIB.
It looks like an old army truck to me.
Bah! You Americans with your checkerboard caps and your Judd Hershes. You have lost sight of what a taxi should truly be.
About 4 tons by the look of it.
There, you have hit the nail in the nutshell.
Okay, already, let's go.
Regrettably not, most esteemed fair. There is a minor problem of a tiny nature. The fan belt has taken it upon itself to break.
So, what are you gonna do?
What can I do? I must wait for a ride to the garage for a replacement.
How long is that gonna take?
1 day, maybe 6.
I can't wait that long. We gotta get moving.
But how, my friend?
I'll think of something. Is this any use to you?
My friend, the very thing, yes.
Ultar took the towel from me, cut it in 2 lengthways, and gave me half back. With his half, he did the kind of fan belt replacement that's normally done with stockings.
Now, if I knot the ends together, so... Serviceable, yes? Very serviceable indeed.
Stockings might work on a Bentley, but on a truck, the coarse toweling did the job nicely.
Come along, my friend. You want to see the bull's head? Yes?
Centuries of hot days and cold nights had opened a crack in the cliff edge, deep into the living rock. A young tree grew at the edge of the drop. The stick I'd broken off was surprisingly hard and inflexible. With a flourish, I tied the end of the towel to the stick with a textbook reef knot. I was now in possession of the patented Stobbart stick towel. If I could only think of a use for it. I could see that crack would make a good anchor point. Well, that looked really safe, but I had no choice. I hadn't anticipated going mountaineering when I'd come to Syria. Close up, the niche looked somehow artificial. I didn't like the idea of putting my hand in there, but there was something in there, a metal ring, as wide as my hand. I took a firm hold of the ring and pulled. Whoa there! Around the corner, I found the corpse. Oh my God. Klausner? Large as life and twice as dead. I'd hardly had time to accept the fact when I heard the door mechanism start up again. Oh man, no! The door had slammed shut, trapping me. I had a bad feeling about how Klausner had died. Without getting too close, I couldn't see any marks of violence, apart from his fingertips being scraped raw, and that seemed self-inflicted. Klausner had been pretty smart to get this far, but he was still dead. Okay, all right. Hey, what's this? I'd found some kind of lens, a very old lens made from a very hard glass. That settled it. The knight on the manuscript had been holding a lens the whole time, not a crystal ball. It was the lens that I'd found on Klausner's body. Up on the wall was an inscription, partially eroded by the ages. Something, something, in accidenta cita est in ora mundi. The Latin was clear enough, but what did it mean? I couldn't take the inscription with me, and I didn't have a notebook or a camera to record it. All I could do was stare at it and try to memorize it. In accidenta cita est in ora mundi. Okay. That would have to do. A stone head bearing 3 bearded faces. It was a strange image, but a powerful one, redolent with antiquity and ancient mysteries. Sure was an ugly one, though. Up on the wall was an inscription, partially eroded by the ages. Something, something, in accidenta cita est in ora mundi. The Latin was clear enough, but what did it mean? The mouth's opening. It must be Ultar. My God, if he comes in, we'll both be trapped. Ultar! Don't come in! It's a trap! Stay where you are! You!
Hello, Mr. Stobbart. We meet in the most unusual places. Please, do not make any sudden moves. I have no desire to maim you.
Did you say maim?
I did. Dead men tell no tales, as you say. And I want to hear everything that you have to tell me.
And what if I don't want to talk?
Then I shall, most regrettably, have to kill you. Rest assured, however, that I am an excellent shot you would not suffer.
Oh, that's good. Believe me, I'm really assured.
It is rather dark in here. I think we should conduct our business outside.
Why should I make myself an easier target?
If I fire at you, Mr. Stobbart, I shall hit you even in here. But unfortunately, my marksmanship will suffer. It could be the difference between hitting you in the leg or the groin.
Boy, it sure is hot in here.
No sudden moves, Mr. Stobbart. Now then, where shall we start?
How about being bosom buddies and you putting that gun away?
Klausner, do you know where he is?
Klausner? Who the hell's Klausner?
I followed his trail here, as I believe did you.
I never heard of this Klausner guy before. I just asked around about strangers and got lucky.
Luck is a commodity that you are sorely pressed for now, Mr. Stobbart. I have been watching you since you arrived in MARIB.
You have? I never noticed you.
Precisely my point. You don't know what I know. Please bear this in mind when answering my next questions. Now, where is Klausner?
I'm telling you, I never heard of the man, and I don't know where he is. Now, if you're gonna kill me, just get it over with, because I've got a full itinerary.
Very well. Now then, where shall we start?
How about being bosom buddies and you putting that gun away?
Klausner, do you know where he is?
Yep, he's dead. Just around the corner of the cave. You want to look?
I'll take your word for it. How did he die?
Starvation or dehydration by the look of it.
He was caught in this trap you were shouting about. Yes, I suspected as much. The Templars were not ones to give away their secrets lightly. Was he carrying anything of importance?
Yeah, he was carrying some sort of lens. I've got it with me.
Give it to me.
I don't think so.
Don't be a fool, Mr. Stobbart.
If I give it to you, what's to stop you killing me?
What is to stop me killing you anyway?
You might hit the lens.
Not if I shoot you in the head.
When I fall, the lens might get broken.
Yes. You plead convincingly, Mr. Stobbart. Perhaps you will live to see another day. Perhaps. Was there anything else?
Well, there was something in Latin up on the wall.
What did it say?
In accidenta cita est, in ora mundi.
Ah, the words of Caesar. Yes, that makes sense.
Well, I know that roughly it means to the west, to the edge of the world. But what the heck is that about?
It tells me where the sword of Baphomet lies. Mr. Stobbart, I am sure that you are just what you appear to be. A gifted amateur.
Thanks, I think.
But I can no longer tolerate your interference. There is far more at stake than you realize. I cannot risk you inadvertently helping my enemies.
So what are you going to do?
I regret that we must end this here and now.
What exactly do you mean?
I am a professional. You will feel no pain.
Oh, man. You're going to kill me?
Your only choice now is whether you die like a man or like a dog.
Okay, you're the boss. I'll take my medicine.
You are an honorable man, Mr. Stobbart, a rare breed. I should like to shake your hand.
Yeah. Well, what the heck? It was a long way down. Below, I could see Ultar's truck. Luckily, the canopy on Ultar's truck broke my fall.
Thank goodness for that.
The worst part of the experience was Ultar's driving.
What about the lens? Is it still in one piece?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you again, George.
Really? Well, I have to say, I'd have enjoyed Syria a lot more if you'd been there.
I wouldn't have been much help. Anyway, you did just fine on your own.
Have you any idea what this lens might be used for?
As a magnifying glass, obviously. I'm sure you'll find it very useful.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
What's with the long face?
Haven't you heard? The tripod was stolen.
No kidding.
I just don't get it. So many other treasures. And the thieves choose the tripod.
A modern-day alchemist, perhaps?
Who knows? There's no shortage of crazies in Paris. Hey, I visited NICO'S apartment.
Yeah, she told me you came by.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie boy. I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course. Where have you been? Nicole said you were away.
I just returned from Syria.
Syria? On the trail of the Templars?
It's a long story, but I found the bull's head. It was referred to on the manuscript, remember?
Yes, what is it?
A secret cave built into a high cliff face. In the cave, I discovered a map bearing a phrase in Latin. In occidenta sita est in ora mundi.
The island of Britain.
Lies at the edge of the world, to the west.
Strange. That map seems to contain a series of pointers.
Like I said, it's a treasure map. What did you make of the manuscript?
It dates from the time of the Crusades.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story and pictures like a modern-day comic book.
What story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
Oh, oui, pilgrims in their thousands on their way to Jerusalem. The tourist trade is nothing new, you know. It's been around for centuries. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of Jericho.
Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras.
Who's he?
A Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the de Vasconcellos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No, they're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They're probably long dead.
Do you think the manuscript could be the map to the Templar treasure?
Frankly, no. That's too far-fetched. The manuscript is interesting enough and a rare find, but that's all.
Wouldn't it be terrific if it was a map, though? The treasure of the Knights Templar.
A romantic notion, Georgie, but extremely improbable.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Hey, Nico.
Oh, hi. Come in.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the face of the statue I saw at the bull's head. That's the clue that led me to the Bull's Head in Syria. The Knight's Scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. And that's not a crystal ball. It's the lens I found in MARIB. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces. That's the gem that Pegram found in Loch Marne. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
I'm no student of architecture, but the little building looked old. I wondered if it was some sort of summer house. There was a crotchety old guy watering the lawn. If this garden was all his own work, he was more capable than he looked. Hi, is this the de Vasconcellos house?
Who wants to know?
I could tell the old coot was going to be trouble. My name's George Stobbart. I was wondering whether...
The house is not open to the public.
This is the de Vasconcellos house.
And what business is that of yours, senor?
Look, all I want is to speak to the head of the household.
There is no household. Only the Countess and myself.
Tell me about the Countess de Vasconcellos.
She doesn't receive guests. That's all you need to know.
You don't even know what I have to talk to her about.
She hasn't won the lottery, has she?
No, she hasn't won the lottery.
A more cunning man might have claimed that she had.
Oh, yeah? They might have, might they?
And that more cunning man would have been kicked off the premises. The Countess doesn't do the lottery.
What do you know about the Templars?
Who wants to know?
Are you angling for a bribe or something?
You have nothing that I want, senor, except the pleasure of your absence.
The guy was obviously protecting the Countess against the whole world. But why? I don't suppose this red nose means anything to you, does it?
Ha! El Flojo!
El who?
El Flojo! He is a clown on state television.
Oh, is he any good?
He is as funny as scabies, without the laughs.
Do you recognize this man?
No,
This lab pass mean anything to you?
nothing.
Do you know what this is?
See, I have a similar tool for opening culverts on the estate.
Have you got any use for a fistful of plaster?
No.
What do you make of this?
So that's it. You're a salesman.
If I was hawking medical supplies, I can think of better places to hawk them. Would you like to shake hands?
I do not think so, senor.
Look at this tissue.
It's a tissue with some greasy muck on it.
Yes, that's right. Have you ever seen a lens like this before?
No, senor. Never.
Okay. Well, I'll see you around.
Adios.
The hose ran from some sort of utility room all the way to the lawn.
My hose has stopped.
Yeah?
See, my hose never stops.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it. It's always sad when an old tradition comes to an end.
Did you have anything to do with it? See, you.
Well, I'm shocked. I'm mortified. How could you think such a thing?
Very easily, senor. Very easily. I'm going to find out why my hose has stopped. And that means going into the house. You are not, absolutely not, to go in the house. If you do go in the house, I will set the dogs on you.
I hid behind the armor and waited for developments.
Hey, you. I know you are there, American. All right, you dogs, I'm coming.
Madre Dios, who are you?
My name's George Stobbart. I'm sorry to burst in like this.
You must leave at once. You're not wanted here.
Please, if you'd just listen a minute.
Very well. State your business, Senor Stobbart.
There's been a series of murders, part of some conspiracy. Anyway, the trail led me here.
Here? There is nothing for the outside world here.
Over 600 years ago there was.
What do you mean?
This whole thing ties in somehow with the Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar are dust.
They had a secret that was so important, they went to a lot of trouble to hide it.
I do not see what this has to do with my family.
Your family had a strong connection with the Templars, right? I believe that they have planted some clues here.
Why should I believe a complete stranger who barges into my home?
Just let me have a look around. If I find nothing...
You'll be spending the night at the police station. Very well. Please, sit down.
Thank you. I know your family is involved with the Templars, but I don't know how.
You should be asking how my family were involved, Senor Stobbart. The Templars ceased to exist centuries ago. And as for de Vasconcellos, the line dies with me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Okay, whatever happened almost 700 years ago. So, if the Templars left any clues, they're going to be in stuff that dates back to the early 14th century.
Obviously.
So, what do you have around here that's early medieval?
Early medieval. Let me think. Well, the house is relatively modern, a scant 3 centuries old. Or, of course, the chess set.
That chess set is over 600 years old? It must be worth a fortune.
Indeed it is. Not that I would part with it, of course.
No, I wouldn't either. That's the sort of thing that gets handed down to your children. Sorry.
Its value is less than you might think. The set is not complete. One of the pieces is a modern replacement. As to the original, it was lost a long time ago.
Nobody has any idea where it is?
No. The children had it when they were taken.
Children? What children?
All in good time, Senor Stobbart.
May I examine the chess set?
Certainly. But do not move any of the pieces.
Okay, thanks. Close up, the modern piece stood out like a sore thumb. There was something else odd about the set. All of the original pieces had irregular bases.
My lady, I have to warn you, there's a... You! Why, I'll feed you to the dogs.
Lopez, what have I told you about feeding intruders to the dogs?
But, my lady...
Never without my permission. Senor Stobbart, if I find that you're wasting my time, you will be fed to the dogs. Now, I want to show you something interesting. Follow me. Lopez, unlock the door, por favor. This is the only remaining structure on the estate contemporary with the Templars.
Nice. What is it, a summer house?
A mausoleum, Senor Stobbart.
Oh.
Come with me.
Hey, senor.
Yeah?
I do not know what you have told my lady to be shown these favors, but I do not trust you.
You've got nothing to worry about. Aren't you coming in?
No, the dead do not interest me. My garden is a living thing. I will be there.
Wow, this is old.
It was constructed in the 13th century as the final resting place for the de Vasconcellos Templars.
It's well maintained.
These are my ancestors, and they deserve respect. I come here at least once a week to say a prayer for them.
Mind if I have a look around?
By all means.
The mausoleum contained 5 tombs for 5 of the Knights Templar, man-size in marble. In front of the shrine was a lectern with a Bible on it. A big statuette of the Virgin Mary kept an eye on the place. High up in the dome were windows. I guess they might open them to make it less stuffy in there. On removing the Bible, I found a pattern on the lectern top. Hey! It's a checkerboard! The lectern top had a pattern of glass squares on it. May I ask you something?
You may ask.
You certainly know your history.
What's your opinion of the Templars, Senor Stobbart?
The Templars? Well, they seem no worse than a lot of the knightly orders.
You are mistaken. Compared to the simpering politicians of the Hospitallers or the brutish Teutonics, the Knights Templar were the embodiment of chivalry. The filthy, money-grabbing French king and his pet pope did a great wrong. A bane settled upon my family at the whim of that self-seeking tyrant.
It was all a long time ago.
Some things don't die. Injustice is one of them.
Who exactly are these people?
My ancestors. These 5 men were all members of the Templars.
5 ancestors in the order. You must be very proud.
Not 5, 6.
Where's the 6th knight?
He was lost to us.
You lost an ancestor?
It is a family matter. It can have no relevance.
Well, it's connected with the curse of the Vasconcellos, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I hope you will honor my desire not to talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll leave it for now. Is the Virgin Mary really the right person to be sharing a mausoleum with 5 knights?
You are showing your ignorance, Senor Stobbart. The Templars were dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
Okay, thanks.
Not at all.
Close up, I could see that the pattern was made up of glass squares over a checkerboard pattern. Some of the squares had little jagged holes in the middle. Would you tell me something?
What do you want to know?
What's the story with the glass chessboard?
Glass chessboard. Oh, the pattern on the lectern. Purely decorative, I'm sure.
There are pieces of glass missing from it.
Oh, it has been like that since I was a girl.
The gaps in the glass chessboard look awfully deliberate.
No, it is ridiculous. What possible significance can it have?
It's part of a chessboard, and the gaps are for...
Senor Stobbart, you cannot mean...
This place was built for the Templars. Your chess set is as old as the Templars. It's kind of suggestive, isn't it? I think this must be it. This is what the manuscript is pointing to.
This is extraordinary. Am I to understand that the Templars left a puzzle here? And in all of this time we failed to realize that there was a puzzle?
It was wonderful to watch the Countess change before my eyes.
Right! Well, no time for wallowing in self-pity, eh, Senor Stobbart? This mystery has had a good long run, but it ends here and now.
All those years of fatalism were falling away from her.
Lopez! Lopez! Put that hose down and listen! Go to the house and get my chess set. Yes, the old chess set! Oh, damn the game! Now hurry! My, this is exciting, is it not?
Don't get too excited. This could be a blind alley.
Oh, I do not believe that for a moment.
It's good to see you happy.
Happy? You know, I think I am.
While we're waiting, I'd really like to know what happened here. I mean, the curse and everything?
It all began at the time of the dissolution of the Templars. Don Carlos had already left their ranks to become a scholar.
Don Carlos, is he the guy who went missing?
Si, but he had reckoned without the local bishop. Their bishop envied us our lands and determined to use the papal edict as an excuse to destroy us. Don Carlos was on one of his scholarly journeys when the Inquisition arrived. When Don Carlos returned, it was to find his loyal manservant slain and his children gone.
They took the kids? But why?
Oh, we will never know. The bishop denied all knowledge of the children's disappearance. But witnesses had seen his men kill the servant who had been charged to protect them.
What happened to Don Carlos?
He swore he'd find his children if he had to go to the edge of the world. He put on his armor and took up his sword and shield and rode out alone. He was never seen again. Lopez, you have the pieces.
See, my lady, as you asked.
Por favor, Senor Stobbart, would you be so kind?
My lady.
Calm yourself, Lopez. I believe Senor Stobbart's motives are pure.
Very well, my lady. My lady seems to trust you.
But you don't.
No, senor.
It fits, Senor Stobbart. It fits.
Working quickly, I found which pieces went into which holes. No.
Senor Stobbart, look!
What is that? It's not the Holy Grail, is it?
No, Senor Stobbart. It is the communion chalice of the de Vasconcellos, missing for almost 700 years.
Wow. Well, go on.
I cannot. I can hardly believe it is real.
Go ahead. Live a little.
Are you sure? This is your moment of triumph, Senor Stobbart.
Sure, I'm sure. The possibility of death traps only occurred to me a few days later.
So the curse of the de Vasconcellos is lifted?
Oh no, the Countess was thrilled to find the lost chalice. But there's still the riddle of the missing knight.
Well, you can forget about that now and get back to finding the Templar's secret.
Actually, I promised the Countess I'd find Don Carlos.
You what?
I can explain everything.
You have got the odds for a withered old Spanish aristocrat?
The Countess entrusted me with the chalice and the quest for her ancestor's tomb.
You're as crazy as she is. Haven't you got enough problems? Khan and the Templars?
It's all part of the same thing. The chalice is important, I'm sure. The manuscript pointed us to the knight, and I have to find him.
What then?
I don't know. But when the knight and the chalice are reunited, maybe I will. This is the chalice I discovered in Spain.
I still can't figure out why the Countess gave it to you. After losing it for all those years, she simply gave it away to a total stranger? She's one prawn short of a paella.
The Countess is a fine lady. You shouldn't compare her with seafood.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on between you and that Countess.
Are you serious? She's old enough to be my grandmother. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
You're back.
Oui, I have returned.
Hello again.
Hello again, monsieur.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you back here again.
No? Well, it is a strange thing, but I am here on duty.
On duty? But you're just sitting there drinking wine.
No, I am not just drinking wine. I am undercover.
I must be missing something. You're in uniform.
Precisely, monsieur. My cover is that of an indolent, wine-guzzling police officer.
You've got me convinced.
Merci. But in reality, my every muscle is poised, every nerve honed. I am drawn tight, ready to pounce. Pajang!
Who or what were you planning to pizzang on?
You must have heard, monsieur, of the terror that is gripping Paris.
You mean the killings? Oh, at last, someone's taken action.
People die every day. No, I am on the trail of Sieur Jacques.
Who?
Sieur Jacques, the terror of the subterranean city. He pops up here, he pops up there. The cops, they seek him everywhere. Is he so hush or beneath the neck? That damned elusive Sieur Jacques.
Bravo, that's very good.
Merci. I was up half the night writing that.
Who is this Sieur Jacques character anyway?
Ah, if we but knew that, we could have him in custody in an hour. But he is cunning. To despoil the sewers of our fair city, he has committed many deceptions. He has pretended to be a police officer and deluded a poor war veteran.
Uh-oh.
He has pretended to be a jongleur.
Wow, is that the time?
And an American tourist. What nationality are you, monsieur?
Canadian. Well, gotta go now. See ya. Well, it's not everyone who can say they started an urban myth. A priest stood by the pews, energetically polishing something. Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah, oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
I've got a red nose.
Oui, so you have.
Have you seen this man before?
No, I have never seen him before.
Have you ever heard of this guy?
No, monsieur. I'm afraid not. Is he a friend?
Not really. More of an acquaintance. I have here a sewer key.
Ah, oui?
I don't know why I'm showing you this.
Neither do I.
I was in Ireland recently and I brought back this plaster.
My sister brought back a shillelagh.
I thought about using the shake and shock on him, but I couldn't do that to a priest. There's grease paint on this tissue.
Oui, you are correct.
Have you ever seen anything like this lens?
No, never. The glass seems subtly colored in some way.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before. What do you make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know. It is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks. A huge stained glass window formed a magnificent centerpiece for its neighbors. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout. A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. An enormous window. In comparison to its neighbor, it looked pretty plain. A huge arched window. Somehow it looked more modern than its neighbor. A knight there in the company of his fellows. Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world, I guess. A knight's tomb, his effigy in marble lying in perpetual state, waiting in prayer for the judgment day. A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. I knew that much. A scholarly knight. That rang a bell. A very Spanish bell. Per disciplinum meum lux videbis. A bit of a stained glass window. Wow! Hoping for a big insight while squinting through a hunk of statuary had been pretty optimistic, I guess. The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove. Hey! A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. Let me see. M.C. That's 1314. Hello again, Father. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner. That winged horse is quite distinctive.
I noticed that the stained glass window on the left looks more modern than the middle one.
You have a keen eye, monsieur. The original window was destroyed in the last war. It was as old as the church, early 14th century.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Oui, a terrible loss. Still, the church and the other windows survived.
Is the right-hand window original?
Oui, monsieur.
Did you know that the center window conceals an image of a man burning at the stake?
The burning man?
What, you knew?
That there was a hidden image? No. But the church has a reputation for being haunted. Many times, people have claimed to have seen a burning man in the window. But when others they look, there is nothing. Perhaps the light has to be just so for the figure to appear.
Yeah, or maybe you need a special lens. You must be proud to have such an incredible collection of stained glass.
Pride is a sin, monsieur, but it is hard not to marvel when the light shines through them. It is a fine example of the artisan's genius.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
No. It couldn't be. Could it? Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it, but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the de Vasconcellos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more, Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the de Vasconcellos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own. Pardon me?
Oui, monsieur? Oh, it's you. Well, what do you want now? You're not going to try to hide in that closet again, are you?
What can you tell me about the collection of pottery?
Those are remains of pots used by the original inhabitants of Paris. The Paris pot people.
When did they move out?
15,000 years ago, monsieur. vanished in the mists of time. Didn't even have time to pack up their pots.
I thought the original inhabitants of Paris were a tribe known as the Parisi.
That is right, monsieur. Renowned for their pots. You see, in those days, people didn't have much in the way of possessions. A few flints, some animal skins, maybe the odd bone or two. Naturally, when the Parisi came along with their pots, why, everybody wanted one.
I guess they must have caused a kind of consumer frenzy.
Ah oui, they cornered the market, cleaned up.
You don't know the first thing about those pots, do you?
No, monsieur.
I hear your tripod was stolen.
Nothing travels faster than bad news. It is true. It happened last night. I always said that alarm was no good.
Thanks for your help. Hi, André.
Hello, Georgie.
While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Baphomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
At the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now, a bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
Thanks for your help, André.
You're welcome.
The painter didn't seem to regard the painting as too important. Not as important as a cigarette break, anyway. Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions. You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoked so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
When I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but là...
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
I have a red nose.
Imagine.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Yes, it's a communion chalice. I know, you know, I used to be an altar boy.
You?
Yes, me. What's so funny about that?
Nothing. Have you seen this man before?
Yes, he asked me a lot of questions, just like you.
Has a guy calling himself Merlin been nosing around?
Was he wearing a t-shirt with "My name is Merlin" on it?
I doubt it.
Then how the hell am I supposed to know his name just by looking at him? Huh?
I've got a sewer key.
I used to work in the sewer.
Oh? What happened?
I had a cigarette break in a pocket of methane. A manhole cover landed on the other side of the Seine and I was sacked.
I have some plaster of Paris.
Amazing.
I was pretty sure the shaken shock had shot its bolt in Syria.
A greasy tissue. Don't get it too close to my cigarette, monsieur, or there'll be a conflagration.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
There was a dumpster full of debris. From the excavation, I guessed. The painter had a pot of gunmetal gray primer hanging from the barrier. A guard stood by a door I guessed led to the excavation. He looked pretty pompous. Well, not so much pretty, just pompous. Hi? Excuse me? Oui? So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard. I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground. What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him. I've got a red nose.
Oh.
I thought better of showing him the chalice. He might be on the conspiracy's payroll, and I didn't want to risk it.
Oui? You have...
A sudden urge to sing. Care to join me?
No, no singing in here.
Have you seen this man before?
Oh,
You have.
no.
Do you recognize this name?
Merlin. No.
This gadget is a sewer key.
So it is.
I got this plaster from Ireland.
Not an exciting souvenir.
I was going to have to get rid of this thing. It was dead. Look, a tissue stained with grease paint.
Ah, just what I've always wanted. If you give me that, you can enter through the door.
Really?
Of course not. What would I want with an old tissue?
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
That guard had been put here to guard something. My guess was that the excavation was behind that door. The doorway was full of assorted old tea chests, cardboard boxes, and so on, all empty and all uninteresting. The doorway led to an old utility closet that had lost its door. There was nothing interesting in there. A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. There was a telephone on the far wall. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer.
That door's locked, monsieur.
Hi again.
What is it?
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
A filthy wash basin hung on the wall. Oh boy! Dirty soap! How do they do that? On the keyring was a big old key that looked like it might fit the excavation door. I made an impression of the big key in the cake of soap. I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key. Well, it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key. Way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well. Hi again.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Couleur.
Hi, Nico. It's me. I'm at the excavation site.
Hi, Georges. What's happening?
I'm at the excavation, but they won't let me in.
Damn. We need to know what's in there.
Don't worry. I've got a scheme. I'm going to need your help, though.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him. Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? You must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
The plaster key had soaked up the paint nicely, and now looked pretty convincing. Still felt like plaster, though.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me, and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
Why, abuse? Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing. Now, I'd substituted the fake key for the excavation key. It looked okay, but felt false. Hi again.
What is it?
I couldn't give him the keys. The false key looked pretty convincing, but it felt exactly like what it was. Painted plaster. He was bound to detect it. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I turned the heating off.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, George.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you! It's the phone.
Yeah? Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Pah! Don't pah me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss. Now there's a familiar face. There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. In the middle of the floor was a weird mosaic, all swirling and distorted. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower. I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Georges.